Hey guys, Brian here at Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's weekend's going well so far. Mine's going pretty good. Had some fun today here with the split window. And so why don't I go ahead and give you guys an update on what I did on my car today. Try and work on my own cars on Saturdays. So here is a Saturday working on my own stuff edition of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. Oh, that sound is annoying. Anyway, so I guess it was a couple weeks ago because I think I was out of town. Was it last weekend? I don't even know, guys. It's all running together. I had started an oil change and sort of a tune-up and some other stuff on this car, which embarrassingly, in the few years that I had it, I had never done any of those things other than just drive the car. So it was way overdue, and so went ahead and finished that up. So added oil, of course, and went ahead and adjusted all the valves, and they were all pretty spot on, actually. So thankfully, because again, I had been neglecting to adjust them, literally never adjusted them even since I bought the car a few years ago. Yeah, luckily they were all pretty spot on. A couple of them were maybe loose by like a thousandth or maybe two, so I went ahead and adjusted those. But yeah, so very happy to see that, actually. So did that. And then pretty much just fired it up after that, guys. It took me a while to get it started, and I kept priming it, and it would, kind of light up for a few seconds and then die, and kept doing it, expecting the fuel pump to get full and then fill the carburetor and stuff like that. And then finally, I remembered that when I was rebuilding the carburetor, the gas kept percolating out of the fuel pump. And so at some point I had switched the reserve lever on the tank to the off position. And so I was trying to start the car with basically the fuel tank shut off. So needless to say, it was not getting any fuel. So once I remembered that and felt kind of like a bonehead, I turned that on, obviously, primed it a few times, and then boom, started running on its own. It's running very smooth now, guys. I think going through that carburetor did it a lot of good. And I did actually play around with the ignition timing too, and got it set at about like 12 degrees idle now. It's about 32 total advance, and it seems to be pretty happy there. The other thing that I did, which has been bugging me since I owned this car, was that whoever put the engine together or put the distributor in it or whatever, they had the distributor cap, which is of course this early style one. They had it so that the wires were coming out that way, sideways. So basically like 90 degrees off from where they should be coming. And that's been bugging me forever. So they were pretty much just like coming right in and around the fuel outlet here, and it looked terrible and stupid. And so finally I went ahead and basically on these, if you haven't seen one before, there's like little slots in here that the wires are sort of routed to that all sort of run that way, and then they pick up the various little terminals inside here that the rotor comes near, and then the center one is of course for the coil. And basically what it is in each of those little channels at the end, like this end, there's a little, I don't know, I want to call it like a needle for lack of a better word, that sticks up. And so the end of the spark plug wire just like pushes down onto that needle thing, and which in turn pierces the outer sleeve of the wire and goes up and touches the actual wire inside. So super primitive. But anyway, so yeah, I had to trim the length of all those, and then I had to kind of reorient the wire tube. It was facing, the opening was facing about like this because of how they had the wires in there, and so I had to rotate that around and trim like an inch or two off pretty much all the wires. And yeah, so much better, guys. Much happier with how my motor looks. I mean, it's still an ugly motor that is in serious need of Vintage Classic Specialists makeover, but at least now it doesn't look dumb with the distributor facing the wrong way. And then also the pulley, which again had previously been painted silver, that also looked dumb, that I went and painted black, and then I blackened the nut on it. So motor looks terrible, but better at the same time. And then of course the carburetor, which I had gone through again a couple of weeks ago and done like a mild restoration. I didn't send anything out for zinc plating or anything, but kind of cleaned things up and did like a quick and dirty restoration of the carburetor on there. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. So once, like a dummy, I remember to turn the gas tank on. It started up, ran pretty good. And yeah, it's running super smooth, guys. Here, actually, let me see if we can fire it up here real quick for you. Now watch, it won't start. All right, so turn the key on, and then if you're not familiar with split window Beetles, the ignition switch is right here. There you go. Yeah, so it's running very smooth, guys. Again, I think it really liked the carburetor rebuild. This motor was definitely not that smooth before. So yeah, running really happy with it. So that's what I did on the motor today. I also started going through the horn circuit, trying to get it working, and I didn't quite get there yet. I think I know where the issue is, but you know, the horns on these, there's a bunch of grounds that all have to be really good for these horns to work. And I went and cleaned up some of those grounds, and then there's also on the earlier cars, there's literally a brush right here that contacts a sleeve on the steering shaft itself. There's a lot of potential failure points on these horn systems where if something is just not really good, the horn just won't work. And so I kind of like went through methodically all the various areas that need a ground, and finally stopped when I figured out that I think the culprit is where so there's two flanges and the steering coupler, the rubber piece between them. And then there's a wire that kind of connects across that rubber piece. If you've worked on these cars before, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, even later ones. And so there seemed to be ground making it from the chassis, through the front beam, through the steering box, through that wire. And then on the upper flange, I don't think the little jumper wire was making a ground there. So I pulled off the bolt and cleaned that up, and then still no horn. So I think what's going on now is that upper flange, this is the one that has the like male splined, you know, shaft sticking out of it. And then the hollow end of the steering tube goes onto that. And so that has to be a ground between that shaft and the steering tube, and then that's what transmits up, and when you push the horn button, ultimately that's what gets you the ground. Anyway, so I think it's at that junction there. I didn't feel like pulling that out, and so leave that for project for some other day. But I did, and if you saw the thumbnail, you'll probably know where I'm going with this. I did have some fun with the car, and so myself and another fellow by the name of Alex, who also has a 52 split window. His is a deluxe sunroof split window. And you might remember the car. It's a black one. Super beautiful car. Was in the shop, I don't know, probably left 6 months ago or so. It was a hot rod when he brought it in, and he had us convert it back into a fully stock car. He had all the numbers matching parts and stuff. Anyway, long story short, somehow we were joking around about drag racing our 25 horsepower split windows and how slow they are and how hilarious it would be to line these two 25 horsepower 52 split windows up in a drag race. And I think I threw out the number. I thought these cars would run like a 30-second quarter mile. And it turns out I wasn't too far off, guys. So let me talk a little bit about how I did that. So I used a program on my phone called Track Addict. You can look it up. Super good program you can do. That's what I use for autocrossing and stuff. You can also do straight line acceleration like drag racing or whatever, 0 to 60 runs, etc. Anyway, so I use that program, and then I use this thing here as an external GPS, and the SkyPro GPS. This thing gives you about 10 hertz of GPS accuracy, whereas like a typical phone, I think they're all pretty much maxed out at about 4 hertz. So you get like 2.5 times more accuracy as far as when your GPS signal is like picking off a location when you're going through, you know, doing like a drag race or whatever. So anyway, use this. So pretty accurate results with this. Anyway, and then with Track Addict. And so I ran the car on a closed circuit racetrack, of course, and it ran like, I did it twice, and it ran like a 27.1 one time, and I think maybe like a 27.2 the other time. So turns out my 30-second guess wasn't too bad, but I didn't give these little things enough credit. So yeah, sub 30-second quarter mile, guys, and the maximum speed I think was like 47 miles an hour. I mean, whew, I'm glad I didn't get caught. I surely would have gone to prison or jail. That is, of course, if I was on a public street doing that. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That's pretty much today's episode. I did manage to take a video of that process, and I'll try and post it up. I really want to post it as a short, but unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that because basically Track Addict only allows you to film in landscape mode. So I need to figure out if I can upload a short that's in landscape mode versus portrait. I'm not sure, or convert it to portrait somehow. And that's the like basically like had the phone mounted kind of up at the windscreen, so you're pretty much just seeing like the front of the car, not really like an in-car, which would have been better. But again, I only have the one phone, which is also my camera, and that's what I was running the program on. So anyway, I will get that up one way or another. It should be super fun to see. You can hear the screaming power of the 25 horsepower motor as it rips its way through a quarter mile in under 30 seconds. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you all enjoyed this. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you again Monday. Bye.